Imagine the chosen one, the people at the top of the world, those leaders who for years did not understand you, who ignored you, are now bowing their heads in front of the whole world and apologizing to you. For years they called you crazy, belittled your dreams, ignored your warnings. But now the truth is out in the open, and everyone recognizes that you were right, that no one else could see what you saw. Your name is echoing on the world stage. People are talking about you, and those who turned their backs on you in the past are now bowing to your truth. This is your victory. This is the reward for the strength of your spirit, for your unwavering intuition, and for never abandoning your path. The truths that have been hidden are now revealed. The world is awakening to a new order, and you are its pioneer. Now close your eyes and feel it. All those misunderstandings, the words that belittled you, the games that were played behind your back have lost their meaning today. Write 999 in the comments, because the greatest curtains have been lifted, and even the greatest authorities bow to you with respect. You are not just a person, you are the awakening symbol of this age. Get ready, the world is now applauding you. If you could listen in on the conversations happening behind closed doors, you'd be amazed at how your insight has left a trail of awe, disbelief, and even a touch of envy. Lately, the buzz around your name is almost electric. People who once rolled their eyes at your warnings now find themselves nervously recounting all the times you were exactly right. There's a rumor drifting through social circles, work meetings, and family gatherings. They always know what's coming. Your gift, which some found unsettling or even unsettlingly accurate, is now the very thing that has them second-guessing every decision they make without consulting you. Someone who once turned their back on your guidance now feels the weight of regret heavy on their shoulders. They're circling back, wrestling with the humility it takes to ask you for help after all this time. When they finally reach out, what they bring to your doorstep will turn the page on a story you thought had ended long ago. An inner revolution has been quietly transforming you, one that started as a flicker and has now become a blaze. Perhaps the shift crept in as you shed old wounds, or maybe it burst forth in a moment of realization. Whatever the catalyst, your intuitive senses are now dialed up to a level that makes even you pause and marvel. Every step you took to cut out chaos, every effort to reclaim your own peace, acted as kindling for this new fire inside you. Now, subtle changes in your perception give you an uncanny clarity. Messages and warnings seem to arrive with the certainty of thunder, even if the world around you remains oblivious. The ordinary suddenly carries extraordinary meaning. Flashes of knowledge drop into your mind when you least expect it. Moments of forgetfulness, disconnection, or surreal dreams are not lapses, but signs that you're attuned to wavelengths others can't even sense. You're operating with an upgraded compass, but you're still learning how to trust where it's leading you. Those closest to you notice the difference, even if they can't articulate it. There's a new gravity in your presence, a silent authority in your words. Some find it inspiring, others a little unsettling. It's as if you can see the core of a situation, slicing through pretenses like a master sculptor revealing form from stone. Your predictions, once dismissed as lucky guesses or even unwanted intrusions, are now considered with a seriousness you never saw before. In the professional world, the story is spreading. You possess an uncanny knack for understanding what's about to unfold. A recent discussion among colleagues, unbeknownst to you, planted the seed for an unexpected opportunity that's about to find its way to your door. That conversation will be the spark for a change in your career or social standing you never saw coming. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. In your circle, people face turning points that feel like crossroads in the mist. Someone weighs the intentions of a new romantic partner, sensing something is off, but unable to define it. Another is tempted by a business proposition that looks golden on the outside, but nags at their gut. Someone else finds themselves drained by a friendship or contemplates a job offer that seems too complex to untangle. They seek your input, knowing deep down you'll speak the reality, not the sugar-coated story. You offer your view without varnish, laying out the patterns, sharing the undercurrents you sense, even detailing how events are likely to unravel if they ignore your advice. Still, half the time, they nod politely, while secretly deciding to go their own way. Convinced they know better, they accept the job, trust the charming suitor, pour into the friendship that quietly siphons their joy. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. And then, almost as if scripted, every thread unravels just as you described. The supposedly golden business partner vanishes with assets. The charming love interest becomes possessive and controlling, cutting your friend off from their support system. The friend who took without giving disappears the instant true support is needed. The job devolves into a chaos of shifting demands and ethical traps. This time, though, the fallout is loud and public. People who once shrugged off your warnings are now passing along stories of your accuracy, recounting the day you predicted the storm before anyone else saw the clouds. Your reputation morphs from strange but insightful to the person you consult before any major move. There's someone in the background, keeping a ledger of these accounts, slowly assembling the courage to bridge the gap they created when they chose pride over partnership with you. There's another story quietly replaying itself, one that's haunted the margins of your memory. A person from your past, someone who once drifted away to seek comfort in easier company, who found solace in those who told them what they wanted to hear, is watching their own decisions collapse under their feet. At the time, your insistence on honesty was too much. They wanted harmony, not disruption, reassurance, not challenge. They aligned themselves with voices that fed them what they craved, turning their back on your tough truths. Now, when challenges mount and real insight is needed, their chosen advisors offer nothing but platitudes and hollow encouragement. The support system they trusted to steer them is nowhere to be found when storms roll in. The result? Every big decision they made without you has left them stranded. Financial losses, personal upheaval, missed chances. The difference is impossible to deny. Your absence is felt most in the clarity that's missing from their lives, and the consequences are inescapable. You walk through life carrying a lantern others can't see, one that throws light on pitfalls, betrayals, and golden chances long before the crowd has any inkling. Only now, as the dust settles, do those who once dismissed your perspective begin to tally up the cost of going their own way. The ventures you would have advised them to skip have drained their pockets. The connections you would have waved them away from have entangled them in heartbreak and chaos. The open doors you would have pointed out now stand behind others who had the nerve to step through. What they once labeled just your opinion was actually a rare gift, a way of deciphering the tangled roots beneath the surface. Your gift for slicing through masks, understanding motives, and catching hidden currents was invisible to them until they tried to navigate life without it. Now, as the stories of your accuracy circulate, they're retracing their steps and realizing your insight has always been their missing link. Quietly, they're consulting mutual acquaintances, piecing together just how often your predictions have landed on target, understanding your clarity didn't suddenly appear. It was always a steady pulse in the background of their lives. Somewhere in the deep hours of the night, regret takes shape as they replay the moments you tried to steer them away from disaster. They sketch imaginary timelines, picturing the happiness, stability, and peace they forfeited by brushing off your counsel. They're wrestling with humility, rehearsing apologies, hoping to find a way back into your good graces. There's a tension in the air. They wonder if the door to reconciliation still stands open, or if you've moved so far beyond their orbit that their return would only echo through empty halls. Unknown to them, another current is gathering. The world outside your personal life is catching on. Your name is making its way into circles of decision-makers and visionaries. The quiet momentum of your unique insight is propelling you into new territory. People who chart the course of organizations and industries are realizing your predictions, your gut feelings, and your warnings consistently hit the mark. In boardrooms and break rooms, your reputation is transforming. No longer the odd voice on the fringe, you're now the one people suggest consulting before making high-stakes moves. "What would they see here?" becomes a refrain among colleagues. Some suggest you helm ambitious projects. Others propose you step up as the trusted advisor on the biggest questions facing the team. Your ability to catch what others overlook has gone from an underappreciated quirk to the secret sauce everyone wants in the mix. What separates you isn't just intuition, it's how you process the world at hyperspeed. While others need time, data, and a committee to reach a conclusion, you pull together subtle cues, hidden dynamics, and emotional undercurrents in a flash. Sometimes ideas strike in the middle of routine, flooding your mind with solutions while the rest of the room is still lost in the introduction. You might fill notebooks with fragments and revelations, capturing insights before they evaporate. To those around you, your mental leaps seem almost supernatural. You spot the patterns, project outcomes, and anticipate consequences while others are stuck on the basics. In their eyes, you're running fiber optics while they're tangled in phone cords. No wonder some people mistake your impatience for arrogance. But those who pay attention see that your focus, your knack for cutting through complexity, is exactly what's needed when the stakes are highest. A leader has been tracking your moves quietly, piecing together your consistent brilliance, and is about to hand you an opportunity that will affirm what you've always known about yourself. Your way of seeing is not only rare, it's essential. Some folks are born with radar tuned to tomorrow's weather. Your spirit seems to catch the distant thunder long before the clouds even gather. Looking back, you'll notice you were planting seeds in soil everyone else thought was barren. Ideas you toyed with when nobody else understood them have now sprouted up in gardens across the world. What once seemed outlandish or too soon is now the latest headline or dinner table discussion. That's no accident. You've always had a knack for riding the first wave before the world even knows the tide is turning. Where others wait for trends to announce themselves, Your intuition quietly whispers what's about to bloom. These aren't guesses. They're a sixth sense for the undercurrents shaping the future. People who used to laugh or wave off your interests now find themselves revisiting your old words, sometimes even giving you credit for opening doors they never knew existed. Right now, someone in your industry is connecting the dots between your predictions and their organization's next steps. Soon, they'll be looking for you, hoping to bring your insight to the table before the next big shift arrives. There's another side to carrying this kind of light. People with dimmer lamps often try to snuff out anything that shines too bright. You've endured your share of slander and sideways glances. There were those who tried to muddy your clarity, make you doubt what you know, and bury your gifts under their insecurities. Sometimes the pushback came from those you cared about most. Family rattled by your ability to see straight through the family script. Friends uncomfortable with your knack for seeing trouble before it starts. Partners who bristled at your refusal to play along with their games. The rumors, the sabotage, the attempts to convince you there's something wrong with your way of seeing. All of it was meant to dim your light and keep others comfortable. Some even worked together to box you in, label your truth as a liability, and pressure you into silence. But here's the thing. When the spotlight moves, shadows can't hide forever. Now, as your insight proves itself over and over, their attempts to paint you as problematic only reveal how threatened they felt by your presence. The truth is stubborn. It finds cracks in every wall built to contain it, and yours is now blazing through the fog. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. Karma has a funny way of circling back. Someone who took part in trying to diminish you is about to face the ripple effects of that decision. They're waking up to the fact that by pushing you away, they lost more than your presence. They lost the wisdom that could have spared them hardship. They'll reach out, apology in hand, ready to spill stories that might leave you stunned. Meanwhile, the gifts you once hid are coming into full view, drawing new opportunities and allies. The tables are turning. The very people who doubted your value are now recognizing just how rare your insight is and how desperately it's needed where major decisions are made. Picture a lighthouse on the jagged coastline, chosen not for its ability to blend in, but for the singular brilliance it offers to every wandering ship. You have spent years dimming your radiance, shrinking your voice, as if your glow might somehow make the storms gentler for those who feared its clarity. But a lighthouse was never meant to hide its light. It was built to stand tall against the roaring winds and the restless tides, anointed by the Creator to bring lost souls safely home. This is the season where you stop asking permission to shine and start accepting your divine assignment, to illuminate, to guide, and to stand firm even when the world grows dark. Now it's your turn to walk boldly past the threshold that fear once guarded. There's no need to keep folding yourself small. No need to apologize for the visions and insights God placed within you. You've been chosen for a calling that can't fit inside the boxes others try to hand you. You've been given sight beyond the horizon, a spiritual radar that was never meant to be muffled just to make others comfortable. That gift, once the source of misunderstanding or even rejection, is now being recognized as the very signal the world's been searching for. Doors are swinging open that were once bolted shut. The people you're about to encounter will not just tolerate your presence. They will honor it, celebrate it, and create room for you at tables you never imagined you'd enter. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. As these new partnerships and opportunities present themselves, hold fast to the boundaries you've built in the crucible of adversity. Not everyone who calls out to the lighthouse wants to be rescued. Some only want someone to blame for their own shipwreck. You are not called to save every wandering sailor, but to remain steadfast and obedient to the voice within. There will be those who finally come knocking after exhausting every other guide, who seek your wisdom only after the tides have carried them far from shore. Others may approach, still stubborn, unwilling to accept the truth unless it agrees with their desires. It's here that your discernment, sharpened by seasons of trial, becomes your compass. Just as a gardener prunes to encourage new growth, so too must you say no to what is unhealthy so that you can say yes to what is truly worthy of your calling. You are moving from a life of spiritual survival to one of spiritual stewardship. This is not just about weathering storms, but about setting a standard for what it means to be the chosen one in this era. The world is finally ready to receive what you have to give, but not every vessel is equipped to carry the treasure you bear. When you withhold your light from those who trample it, you honor the sacredness of your calling. When you pour your gifts into the lives of those who are ready, you multiply the blessing, just like a lamp on a hill that cannot be hidden. Think of yourself as a mighty oak tree planted by rivers of living water. Year after year, storms may have lashed against your branches, and curious eyes may have questioned why you stood so firm when others fell away. But through every season, sun or shadow, you've been drawing strength from deeper roots, stretching wider, standing taller, growing into exactly what you were created to be. And now, when the winds of change blow through, you don't tremble or bend in fear. You lift your arms even higher, leaves shimmering with purpose, declaring to the world that you are unshakable because your foundation runs straight to the heart of the Creator. In this pivotal moment, let your soul stand tall. Let your words be seasoned with grace, but rooted in truth. Let your spirit remain open to divine appointments, knowing that every meeting, every new door, every opportunity is orchestrated by a hand greater than your own. You aren't meant to blend into the forest as just another tree. No, you were planted to stand as a landmark, a gathering place for others seeking shelter and wisdom. The next chapter of your journey will be written not in the language of apology, but of authority and authenticity. Your light, once the subject of suspicion and gossip, now becomes the proof of a higher plan unfolding. You have nothing to defend, nothing to hide. You've weathered too many storms to ever second-guess your own roots. Your presence is a living testimony that storms do pass, and those who keep standing will one day see their shade bless others. So speak boldly, chosen one. Let your voice carry hope. Let your heart remain open, and let your story remind every weary soul that there is purpose in every season. When God writes your story, not even the harshest winter can stop your spring from coming. So step forward, chosen one. Let the world see that you are no longer the keeper of secrets, but the herald of a new dawn. Your boundaries are not walls, but gates for divine wisdom to flow through. Your gifts are not burdens, but instruments of healing and hope. You have not come this far to blend in with the scenery. You were sent to stand out, to be a city on a hill, a lighthouse in the storm, a testament that God's promises are still alive and well for those who dare to answer the call. This is your threshold moment. Walk through it, unashamed, unafraid, and unstoppable. The horizon is wide open, and you were born to light the way. Every metaphor and construction here is fresh, fully transformed and original, built for your audience and tone. If you want to keep rolling, just drop the next section. Some people are built like tuning forks. They pick up the silent music beneath the surface and feel the tremors before the ground shifts. That's you, standing at the front lines of a new movement, one that calls for hearts to lead where spreadsheets once ruled. More and more souls are waking up with this same rare radar, discovering that the world's problems need more than the same old answers. What you're doing, trusting the invisible, speaking uncomfortable truths, seeing patterns where others see noise, used to be dismissed as woo-woo or too sensitive for the real world. Now the old playbooks are falling apart, and folks are scrambling to find someone who can see around the next corner. You're being linked with others who walk in this kind of knowing. These are not accidental meetings, but a divine algorithm at work, matching those who can hold the torch when others are still fumbling for a match. Each new alliance builds on the last, multiplying your impact and giving you allies who finally understand how exhausting and exhilarating it is to live with your kind of sight. It's no easy path, bearing witness when most would rather look away, standing alone when it would be simpler to blend in. But you were made for exactly this kind of crossroads. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. The proof of your gift is undeniable now. The world, once skeptical, is starting to hold its breath when you speak, and the tide of recognition is rising faster than you ever imagined. The praise, the confessions, people circling back to say, "You called it. You saw what we missed," are only the opening notes of a much bigger song. Your reliability, your uncanny streak of rightness, has become impossible to shrug off. People who matter are seeking you out, not just to witness, but to partner and build something lasting. The doors swinging open aren't just for applause, but for real responsibility, bigger projects, higher callings, moments that will stretch your gifts further than ever before. It's time to trust the internal compass that got you here. Let go of any doubt. Your record is already proof enough. The spotlight is searching for leaders who have not just knowledge, but wisdom that goes deeper than what's printed in the manuals. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. When your big opportunity arrives, and it's already being whispered about in rooms you haven't yet entered, you'll feel the confirmation in your bones. You'll know that you're standing exactly where you're meant to be, equipped with gifts that are right on time for the new era unfolding. The old question, "Am I really meant for this?" is fading. The real question now is how you'll use this rising wave. Will you lean into your calling and multiply the light you carry, or shrink to fit someone else's old pattern? The universe has already cast its vote for you. The moment to act has arrived, and the world is leaning in. What happens next is in your hands.